All right, on this episode of UnPack Pittsburgh, I am blessed to be with Jimmy Big Muscles as my co-host, and our amazing guest is Chef Sarah. Thanks for joining me.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Chef Sarah. And I am a personal chef in and around the Pittsburgh area and have been doing this for 14 years. I do in-home parties and gatherings from all kinds, from baby showers to weddings to just any reason that anyone wants to get together. I create the atmosphere and the food, the menu. Also, recently, I've started up a piece of my business called Sarah's prepped meal prep rather. And so I have started selling my individual meals with a healthy focus. So they are culinary forward. So that means they have flavor, but they do have a health focus. And I'm selling them out of my current gym, which is CrossFit Athletics in Southside of Pittsburgh. So that's what I've been up to.
Very cool, good intro. And this is definitely a podcast where I am the least qualified to cook. Jimmy, why don't you kind of introduce yourself as a local content creator to Pittsburgh and what you kind of specialize in?
Well, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me back on, Brian. But yeah, so my stuff, I mainly all Italian food, Italian content. Started off a while ago, made some TikToks. They got pretty popular, and now I have over 300,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram. And I get to travel around a lot. I meet a lot of awesome people like you guys, and it's awesome. It's great. I love cooking. Work with a lot of local restaurants. I operate social medias now other than my own for restaurants, and every single day I keep doing more things and growing in different ways, and I love it. It's all based around food, so can't complain. You get to eat and work at the same time. So I'm excited to be back on.
Yeah, and I'll probably try to stay as quiet as possible. I feel like you two are going to be able to ask better questions towards each other. I'll just eat. So Sarah, and by the way, I have to call you Chef Sarah every time. It just sounds way cooler. You mentioned personal chef. So
Yes.
kind of why don't you kind of talk a little bit about that? What some of the situations you've been in, some of the funny stories, or some of the good stuff that you like to cook.
Okay. So many stories. Yeah, so I love cooking. Everyone asks me what my specialty is, and I really don't have a specialty. I started out like after culinary school, like I started out thinking that I was going to be this fine dining, just that's all I wanted to do was fine dining, and it really has evolved over the years. I love Italian food, like rustic Italian food. So Jimmy, that's like it's just so flavorful and easy to put together is what I love. So just making like things approachable for people. And that's really where my brand has gone and my love for food has gone, is just more of, and I hate to use like farm to table or ground to table, but I really do love it. Like if you can pick it and it can be fresh and it doesn't come out of a box or a can, and you can put it together easily, then that's kind of my vibe right now. So that's what I've been doing over the past few years and just getting better with it and more comfortable with it. And it seems to be a big people pleaser, so everybody likes it. Funny stories, you may have to come back to me for them. I have to figure out which one is not gonna.
This podcast is not for kids.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I mean, I've had to, what are those called? The NDAs, like where
yeah, let's not get in trouble. Jeez,
okay,
oh man,
I've
we're
had to
too new to get
sign
canceled.
those,
Jeez.
just to do like some dinner parties. I've met a lot of interesting people around the area. And it's so cool because it's almost like I mean, Pittsburgh's a small city, but it's so fun to have been doing this for so long. 'Cause it's like I go in little pockets, like I don't know, Murraysville or Shady Side or South Side or whatever, and I'll walk down the street and I'll see someone that was, a client of mine years ago, or we just did something together recently. So it's really cool to have like seriously like a hometown feeling every time I go around the
Yeah.
city. And that's what I really love about what I do. Kind of like what you said, Jimmy, just like meeting new people and being like all around Pittsburgh in restaurants and different areas. I mean, I feel like that's pretty cool.
That's definitely cool.
Someone
And
say something.
yeah, Jim, we'll give Jimmy the floor. Jimmy was just, well, why don't you talk about your recent travels a little bit? And then really just one thing I'll say, and then I'll let the two foodies go for it. But is you're right about the local flavor here of Pittsburgh, right? Like we've been lucky enough to be invited to several events recently for content creators and media, and you get to see the same faces a lot. There's not a ton of people, doing the content game in Pittsburgh to scale. But I will say that people who we're talking to, for the most part, have been nothing but nice and willing to collaborate, and it's just a really good sense of community here in Pittsburgh, which is great for someone like me. So Jimmy, go ahead, talk about your travels and talk about you.
So I was just in Italy for almost 2 weeks, not a full 2 weeks, but close to it. And it was just great. We traveled around. I ate a ton. I was visiting my cousin who was studying abroad. He's actually just coming back to the States now. As we're talking, he's on a plane. But went to Rome, Florence, down south. Got to spend some time with my family who's there, which was awesome. And to keep this talking about food, I know you mentioned you like the rustic Italian foods the best. And, that's something that I love too, and like you said, you do a lot of stuff with like healthy food too.
Yes.
I think something that I mean, I always try to talk about it, but Italian food isn't unhealthy food by any means. If you're making Italian food the right way, there's nothing unhealthy about it. And
right.
One of the best recipes are like those rustic recipes that were really a long time ago they created recipes whenever they didn't have a lot of money to buy a bunch of fancy food or a bunch of meat. So making a lot of like soups and like kind of stew dishes that they're some of my favorite ones. I mean, one thing I've tasted a lot of different Italian food, but one thing I haven't tasted yet, and during this trip, it was my first time tasting. It was called ribolletta. Have you ever had that?
Mm-mm.
It's it's something that comes out of like Tuscany, Florence area. And my family, we're from the South, so it's not something typical that my family would make because, every region has different food. And it's like kind of like a minestrone and has like beans and stuff in it, but then it has bread in it, kind of like it. So it has a little bit of a stuffing taste and it's really thick.
Oh my gosh,
but,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I know. And then it's like when we're at restaurants, I catch myself, I want that more than like the fancy steaks and stuff. It's like, okay, I want the dish that's considered actually used to be like the poor dish. It's like, so those are
like a peasant dish. I mean, that's like eggplant is so underused everywhere because I think everyone just thinks it becomes mushy and undesirable. But really, if you salt it properly at the beginning and get some of that moisture out of there, you've got a great like vegetarian plate to work with. And what's the other one? So I don't think I made this up. I'm pretty sure that it's like an Italian thing, but it's literally just like white beans and fresh garlic. You add a ton of olive oil to it, and they used to put it in cans with just stem included and everything of basil, and you just shove it all in a can, and you can put it like offset by a fire, and it just cooks down, and it actually becomes like a paste, like a white bean dip. I call it a white bean tapenade. That's what I put on a lot of menus, but it's like a rustic Italian bean dip. And it's so good. And there's like 4 things in it.
You know, it's kind of funny. We actually just ate that last night.
Stop it. Okay. So
Ryan,
I didn't make it up.
Wait, was that
No.
the thing in the
Yeah.
center of the charcuterie board or whatever?
Yes, we were at you know, Il Pizzaiolo in Mount Libo.
Yeah.
We were there and we had this it's called an antipasto misto board that they have. It's just like some meat, cheese, and in the middle there's like a white bean, like just a bean paste. It's almost like a hummus kind of.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It cooks down so long that it just like it turns into it. All you have to do is just stir it every once in a while. But if it's by a fire, which was how I was taught when I worked in a restaurant here in Pittsburgh, actually, Enrico Biscotti Company, they had, but this was not in the Strip District. This was when he had his spinoff in Shadyside. And he kind of like, he taught us that recipe. And then all I said was, let's just add basil to it. And we used to let it sit by the fire because everything was made by a fire. Like there was no other heat source in that restaurant. So we just cooked everything by the fire. And that was my favorite thing.
So were you like, did you work in a lot of restaurants here before you transitioned to what you're doing now, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was at Grand Concourse. I did front of the house, back of the house. I always like to make myself like, you know, indispensable, you know, like I could work anywhere. Plus every once in a while you need a break from the kitchen, right? It's like, it's nice to see some human beings. And that's probably why I like what I do, is because I can be social, because I am a social person. And I get to do what I love. So, I'm not just hidden in a kitchen. So that gives me both outlets. Yeah, but I worked around the city at a few restaurants, but really, like, yeah, it was my daughter. I got pregnant and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. This is like hard hours, just hard on your body, everything. And I actually quit restaurants and started working at Starbucks Coffee, and I was slinging coffee for about a year. And a friend of a friend said, you know, their wife was a personal chef, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about this. So I continued my education like as soon as I connected with her, and within another year I was able to open my business. So that's like the long or short story.
Nice. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of your in-home parties? Because you mentioned that as well.
Yes. So the in-home parties can really look like absolutely anything. I mean, I always ask people, like, you're obviously calling me and reaching out. So like, what do you envision? Because it's always a customization of what they're looking for. And I think that's really important to give someone like the ultimate gathering, is to ask, like, what are your colors? What are you celebrating? Obviously technical, like allergies, things like that. But and then just getting an idea of the whole vibe, and then you're able to create a scene, whether it's a huge grazing board on a table that you just roll out some parchment paper and try and cover every single inch with something beautiful and edible. Or it is, you know, creating height in different places and having decorations. And I mean, this time of year, I'll run out back and I'll grab like leaves or branches or something and add them to the aesthetic of the, you know, whatever beautiful table you're making. And just try and bring like organic pieces into it, so that, I don't know, just I feel like food is so beautiful and it should be displayed as artistically as possible. But I cook simple food, so it's not like gastronomy, or you're gonna pop a bubble and inhale some smoke that tastes like, you know, a mushroom or whatever. Like, that's not my jam. I appreciate it, I love it. I will sit there and I'll probably cry over a dish or something. But it's more about incorporating like visually the art and then the food and just make it all very purposeful and artistic. So that's what I really love doing. Courses, menus, small bites, pairing, like wine pairings. Oh my gosh, it's endless with food, and that's what I love. And it can be different every single time. I mean, I do some repeat things that are my go-tos, but it's really cool to hear what people are looking for, and then I imagine it. Okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I also love pairing food with like vinyls, like old records. So if I
Oh,
see,
that's cool.
like, I love to see, I want to hear a certain thing, I want to see a certain thing, and I want to taste a certain thing all together. And that to me is like, now you've got it. This is your experience, you know? So that's kind of what I try to create in people's homes.
That's really cool. You mentioned allergies. So, like, let's say
Mhm.
someone has a nut allergy.
Mhm.
How would you prepare differently for something like that?
Well, I mean, just absence of nuts, but
Sure. But does that like
but
really limit your menu? Like,
no,
okay,
no.
cool.
I mean, I do love, so I have these nuts that I make all the time, and it's a lavender, lemon, rosemary cashew, right? And they're roasted. So not a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, give me that lavender nut." Like that
Yeah.
sounds great. So that's just like a signature thing that I'll do a lot of times. But yeah, if you have a nut allergy, then we just stay away from that. And there's a whole world of food out there. So we can, even if it's like tapas and small bites or a charcuterie or something, we'll just put, more interesting marinated olives, or I'll make a couple different jams or reductions. Like it's never, there's always more food, right, Jimmy?
That's right.
Jimmy, you
Is
don't have
there,
allergies, do you, Jimmy?
no. Although I notice sometimes, like, there's some things I just don't eat as much of. Like apples, for instance. Like, every time I eat an apple, I think it has something to do with how they spray it or something. Probably that's not natural about it getting sprayed
Oh,
on.
okay.
But
Yeah.
whenever I eat apples, my lips get all like tingly and my tongue like itches. Not like not a
Interesting.
bad allergic
Yeah.
reaction, but
It's a good feeling.
Yeah. Good itch.
no, it's not a good allergic reaction, but it's not like I have to go to the hospital where I
Yeah.
can't breathe or anything. The worst that happens is my lips get like a little red and like I'll like it just burns. It just burns.
Yeah. Oh,
So I kind of stay away from apples. If it's cooked, then it's fine. But
yeah.
just a full apple, just eating it, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I have no allergies to speak of. So anything, anything is on the table,
I
literally.
don't think I would be able to survive with some food allergies. Very,
Yeah.
very happy I don't have any. Is
It's
there,
tough.
would you say there's a specific style that you would fall into the most? Like, yeah, you can make all different types, but like, what's your favorite? Like, if you could make whatever you wanted and they're like, just make
Ooh.
your favorite dishes, what you think's the best, what's something that you would make? It's like the main course.
Ooh. Okay.
I know it's like a tough question. I don't even know
No,
how
we're
to answer
gonna
that
we're gonna
either.
do a whole tenderloin, and we're going to actually rub it before you grill it, with the lavender rosemary rub, no lemon in it, because you're going to finish with fresh lemon juice as you slice it down, which is amazing on a steak and really not something that anyone's like, give me that lemon, I have a steak. Like, I feel like this would go good together, but it's amazing. Or like chimichurri is one of my favorites. So
Mhm.
like a fresh, good, just minimal ingredient, because sometimes people can mess up chimichurri. There's just too much in it. But if you just stick with the fresh ingredients and a little bit of salt, good olive oil, and some red pepper flakes, oh my gosh. And that could be with like a cauliflower steak. That could be with regular steak. That could be with vegetables, chicken, fish. I mean, I'll eat it on literally anything. I think I've eaten chimichurri eggs before. So like high class eggs.
Sounds delicious.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I am a pretty protein forward, but I totally appreciate like a good crusty bread with just a really good olive oil and some salt. Wine always has to be in there. A good red wine. Or
what's your favorite type of red wine?
That's a great question. I think well, I'm going to be so one-sided and be like Cabernet. I'm a Cab girl. But I do love the heavier red wines. So there are so many of them. But I do love just a good, heavy, like you can just bite it red wine.
Nice. I like Cabs. I like Petite Syrahs, but Jimmy, we had, I don't even know what we drank last night, but that was fantastic, that red wine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I get the Terradoro, I think, or something. I forgot which one you actually had. I had Alianico. So
Okay.
Listen,
I like all different types of red wine. I think my favorite one is the one I'm drinking in the moment.
Oh, what do you have?
Yeah, I love. Oh no, not like at this moment.
Oh,
I was like, well, you said you're going to the gym after this.
Listen,
Is that how you get the big muscles?
I was nervous. I was like, should I or shouldn't I?
Well, this first podcast with you, it's almost, we're treating this like a series, right? Because this is virtual. But to continue that thought is the next one will be in person, right? And
yes,
hopefully we can have some dishes or figure out a way to really incorporate the food. But we also do a happy hour podcast, and that's when we would, break bread and have some wine or drinks and stuff like that. So on the next one, there will be alcohol. Promise.
Yay!
There will be alcohol.
and remember, guys, think about this, because I'm going to ask you, what do you want your experience to look like? And that's going to help me with, what I'll kind of customize and design for the menu that hopefully I'll be preparing in one of your places as an in-home service.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely try to get something scheduled. And I was kind of telling Jimmy before we jumped on about that. We could maybe have a couple local content creators or from Pittsburgh, or get a nice small little niche group and kind of showcase your in-home business line.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it. And the more wine, the better.
Amen to that. So what are some of your favorite restaurants? I only say good things about places. We don't really
100%.
We're not a podcast that shits on businesses here in Pittsburgh.
Listen, I only want good karma, so yeah, I'm not going to do that.
All right, so tell us some of your favorite.
Everybody's out there trying to hustle, so whether I like it or not, somebody else does. So it's not for me to be a shithead about. So
give me 3, and then Jimmy, give me 3. But the caveat is you cannot have worked with them at all.
Morcia, Butler Street.
Okay. Good one.
Poulet Bleu when it was open. Or is it?
Is it closed? I've been there, but I haven't been there recently.
I have not been there recently either.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was delicious when I went.
Dish in Southside.
Okay. Haven't been.
I haven't been to that one either.
Yeah, it's an Italian joint. You'd like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met the owner once before.
Okay. Yeah.
But
they have really good martinis, just saying.
Very Italian.
Yes.
We need to get it. I never had I never ordered a martini before.
Yeah, next time we're together. He told me last night he's never had a martini. So not only am I getting it from him, we're gonna film it.
Okay.
Yes.
I tasted one before.
Well,
it was one that somebody just made at home, and I never
Blue
ordered
cheese
one.
olives.
Blue
Yeah,
cheese
I never had
olives,
the olives. I never had.
extra dirty.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
like extra dirt.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
like the dirt. Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. It's just olive juice.
I don't know, but I don't know.
All
Whenever
right.
I
What
order, it,
are
do I
you
have
gonna
to say
say?
shaken, not stirred, or
Yeah. You're like
No,
James Bond. You feel like
Yeah.
James Bond when you have one.
yeah.
Oh man, it's kind of hard. The ones I don't work with.
I know. That's why I said that.
I know, because you always say I say the same ones all the time. Man, this is gonna be tough. This is in like no order. I'm just naming some that I like. One that's like kind of like a low key little spot is Piacqueria's isn't bad. Have you ever been to Piacqueria's?
Mm-mm.
It's this like small little Italian joint, and it's by Ice Castle. It's in the
Oh,
same one as the same shopping like center as there's a Planet Fitness there. I forgot what it's called.
yeah.
So
He never remembers that area.
yeah, I always just say, "Oh, it's by Ice Castle." I was just telling him about what gym I get, and I was like, "Yeah, it's right by Cassie Village." So
All right. There's one.
yeah,
Two more.
they're good. They're good. Two more. I'm gonna have to come back to you. I don't know.
Wow. Stumped
Anywhere
him.
in the strip?
Jimmy and Nino's is a good little sandwich spot. I never tried Enrico's. I don't think they're. Do they still have the pizza going back there? I'm not sure.
I
Is that the
don't
one?
know
Is
what
that the
the
one right by
situation
me?
is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure I just had pizza from there.
Did they? Do you still have a box laying around?
I have a menu right here. What'd you call? Oh, no, I went to. Oh, pizza. Is this it?
No,
they're good. They're good.
I went to here. These guys were good.
yeah. That's Oh, I really like them too.
Mhm.
They have a
Vietnamese.
little. Yeah.
By Ice Castle. Just
I was like,
just kidding. Oh,
yeah, and I guess last one. I don't explore restaurants that as much as I probably you'd think I would. I really don't.
I don't either.
I mainly eat in all the time, and in my families, and then
Because you're
whenever I do
filming
go out, I
content
go to
too.
the same spots. I don't try a bunch of new places constantly. Although I know there's some new places I need to try soon. Apparently, there's a new. I don't know if you tried it. There's a new Argentinian spot in the Strip
Mm-mm.
District.
No,
I
I
heard it's
actually
good.
I don't get out as much as
Do you know what it's called?
probably.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
It's
wait,
right
is it
by
the
the
one at
front
the end
door.
of the terminal? It's across the
Yeah,
street.
just
Starts with
opened
a
up.
B. Yeah, we're going to. I think we talked to them. I think we're going to go
Yeah.
try to do a highlight there, or a feature. So if you want to join,
All right.
yeah, it's right across the street in like the kind of newer building. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
I think it is. Yeah, it's like it used to be. The building used to be like a club. Even whenever I was in high school, you could like go
Oh
there.
yeah,
Like
it was.
they had their college nights. So we're in high school, like Thursday nights, they had college night where you could get in and you weren't 20.
Oh,
The Strip District has come a long way. So I live in the
it
Strip District.
has.
So, but I'm new to the Strip District, so I haven't explored nearly as much as I would like to. But yeah, it's certainly come a long way.
Yeah, it's definitely so nice. I love the energy down there, especially during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Except I do not love Penn Mac's super long line to get in because I want their
Jimmy.
awesome cheese. I want their awesome
Shots
cheese.
fired. Well, Jimmy, why don't you tell your relationship a little bit?
Oh, yes.
So I do the social media and everything for Penn Mac and their marketing. So
Oh,
down
you do
part-
great.
He's in charge
I'm
of
down
line
for
control as well.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Well, we did on the holidays when it is a super long line, like during Christmas. We'll come around with little taste of wine that they make in the basement.
Nice.
Frank used to make the wine. So Frank makes the wine in the basement. I had a video of it one year. We'd go around, make the waiting a little bit easier. But yeah, if you go during the day on not a holiday season, it shouldn't be that bad.
Oh, yeah. No. But obviously you're doing something right if there's a line.
Right. Tell him Jimmy Big Muscle sent you.
I will. I'll be like, I'm on the list.
I'm with Jimmy.
Through the back entrance.
They'll charge you double.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And then the last thing that one of the things that you mentioned also is you do your ready-made meals
Mhm.
or meal prep, and you have a connection with your gym. Kind of talk about that process, and if anyone's kind of interested in kind of exploring that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am looking for drop off spots in the city. So currently, South Side, I am soon to be at a gym called Best U Training in Homestead. So those are kind of close to each other. So I'm looking for some like a fitness center that would be interested in the Strip District, and kind of just like sprinkle myself all over the city to do drop offs weekly. Um, so just a little bit about the service, like a overview. Menus run bi-weekly, so it's the same menu for 2 weeks. I offer 3 different meals weekly. Always a poultry, so a turkey or a chicken, a red meat, and a vegetarian. So I try and hit everybody's. No fish. It has no shelf life, and it's too hard to control. Um, so it's those 3 options. You pre-order with me. Drop-offs are on Mondays and Thursdays. I do a full macro breakdown label on each of the meals, so you have that to reference depending on what your focus is. The packaging, the actual packaging is in a microwavable package. It does have a plastic lid. Um, the bottom of the packaging is eco-friendly. The top of it is what I'm working towards. Making sure that the plastic would be an eco-friendly recycled plastic eventually. Yeah, I mean everything's labeled, packaged. It can be up to 4 days of freshness. There's an expiration date on the label. I have an eat or freeze by expiration date. I also let you know gluten-free, dairy-free, if there are any nuts in it, or and really the focus is all of my proteins are grass-fed, grass-finished, so I really splurge for that. And also all of the oils are clean oils, because I'm not sure if people really know, but like health starts with like the first drop in the pan. Inflammation 100% is based on like what kind of oils you're putting in your body. So I won't really do anything with olive oil except for finishing, because you can't take that to a really high temperature. So avocado oil and unrefined coconut oils are what I use. And I always make sure on the label, because the coconut oil can be an allergen more so than the other. So it'll always be noted somewhere before you order it, so that you know like what your ingredients are. I send out my menus via emails, and you text me back your order, which is a very rough process right now. So hopefully very soon I'm going to have some proper order forms, and yeah, we're just doing it one step at a time, and it seems to be catching on really nicely. And I'm in a nice little corner, like my gym. So there's Vellum, the Vellum, what are they? They're like a brewery. They're a brewery, and they
Okay.
have some spirits, like Kingsfly spirits, I think. And so they're pretty cool. Some of their staff has come over and checked out my menus and things. So yeah, I mean, every little bit helps. So
Sure. Sounds like a little entrepreneurial mission there. So that's awesome. Good
yeah,
for you.
yeah, definitely. Just want to feed the masses with healthy food so that we can all stay happy and, be nice to each other.
2 questions. One, would you judge somebody if they put ranch on their pizza?
No, because seriously, it's not like I haven't done it. I'm
Take
not gonna
notes,
lie,
Jimmy.
but
Take
I
notes.
kind of did grow out of
Um,
that.
yeah, I haven't, and I probably
Okay,
won't.
no, it's
But I
totally
will say Jimmy's point of having like really good pizza, you don't need it, and he's right. But I still,
it is true.
it's kind of a comfort blanket for me. But the second question is, what how would you describe clean oil for some non-foodie like myself?
So because you know what it is, like, what is canola oil? Could you tell me? Vegetable oil.
Yeah.
I mean, there are no vegetables in vegetable oil. Like, it's not anything
Wait,
that's
really?
great.
No.
It's heat.
Grapeseed oil, I mean, that's a high heat. It's okay. But it has a tendency to break out your skin depending on like your body and your chemistry. So the oils that I pick, from just learning personally, friends that are in the lane of, wellness and beauty, estheticians that are friends. I've really just asked them questions like, what's good for your skin, your hair, your nails, things like that. And maybe you guys don't find it super important, but at the end of the day, it's just important to put like clean products in your body that are going to, just to help you. You're going to get a better workout, or you're going to feed your muscles after a hard workout better. Yeah. I mean, the inflammatory, I guess that's what it comes down to, is like a lot of bad oils. That's all they do, is they just inflame your nervous system. They inflame, like your body. It brings it out in, like, it can be an acne for some people. I mean, think about just living on fried food. Yeah. So like the soybean and the palm, and is pumice, or is that something you do with your car? I don't even know. There are so many like whack oils out there. I'll come with the list next time.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So clean oils is stuff you actually know what the ingredients are.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Actually, I stopped using like any of the ones that you like spray, like stuff, even like the olive oil ones. I don't use any spray because they have all this added stuff in there, and it's pretty much just like a flamethrower, right? Like
it is, yes.
Not good for your body at all. And then I stopped using like the non-stick pans. I just use steel.
Yes. So I also cook. I also cook with like green pan. So it's a safe pan where a lot of those pans that are coated, if you scratch them, they have just like all these chemicals. They're fine until they get scratched. And we all know we have a bunch of scratch pans, right? So yeah, I mean, stainless steel, or like the eco-friendly pans, those are the ones. Or like ceramic lined pans, like the Le Creuset and the Staubs and Lodge and like stuff like that. Those are all really good, safe, healthy pans. That's a really good point, Jimmy.
Yeah, because I've been looking into that a little bit more.
You got the slow clap.
Yeah. That, and then I usually, I mean, whenever I fry, I usually just use a cheap olive oil. I mean, I don't like fry like a deep fry or anything, but just like pan fry.
Yeah.
I usually use olive oil, or like I'll cook with butter sometimes.
So maybe if we do an event here at my place or wherever we do, maybe you guys can take me shopping, because I'm pretty sure I used everything that you just told me I shouldn't. What are your thoughts on an air fryer? I just got an air fryer. I haven't really used it yet, but is that bad? Am I not allowed to use that either?
No, I don't think so. You know what? I know nothing about like, listen, I am pretty basic in the kitchen. Like, I'll use a crock pot, but all the
that's something I want.
the gimmicky things that came out, and I'm not saying they're bad gimmicky. They just literally, I have so much stuff that like, I don't know what I'd do with an air fryer. But I've heard that it finishes things really clean. You don't have to put any oil or anything in it, and it would make wings and French fries and shit like that really crispy.
Yeah, I think
I love
the point.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, good.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I love it.
Next time you come over, we're gonna fry some shit.
The best thing I use for the air fryer is salmon. Salmon perfect every single time. Like 12 minutes, less than 15 minutes. Yeah.
Does it have to be fresh, or can it be frozen too?
I use fresh. I never tried it with frozen.
But for the rest of us, we use.
Wait, so what is your perfect salmon temperature?
I literally just put it on like the internal temperature.
Yeah. Like, well, it doesn't have Be the
Yeah, honestly,
temperature,
I
but like
never.
medium rare.
Yeah, probably medium. I wouldn't say medium rare, like sitting around medium. And then yeah, I just put it's have it set to 400. I put it in. I mean, every air fryer is a little different, but I think the one
Yeah.
I have right now, it's like 12 minutes it takes, 12 to 15 minutes around that. And yeah, it's perfect every single time. Perfect crust on it.
Man,
The inside's cooked perfectly.
now I'm
I use
All
like
excited
right.
to use it.
all the time.
Yeah, when we get together, you guys can just show me how to air fry salmon,
Air fried salmon. It's easiest. It's easy. It's easy.
and then
Yeah.
I'll just make everything else.
Yeah. Deal.
Excellent, awesome. So, I mean, I promised 30 minutes. We're certainly over that. Why don't we'll start with you, Jimmy, and then why don't you guys say your Instagram or where people can go, or direct some people if they want to kind of get to know you guys off of this.
So my stuff's easy. It's all under Jimmy Big Muscles. You could look that up. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all Jimmy Big Muscles. So you find me like that.
Nice. Nice.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, so I'm Sarah Big Muscles. Or like, damn it, no. So it is Chef Sarah Lu, Lu. Sarah's Personal Chef Service is my website, and yeah, all of my contact information is there. So if you have any questions or you just want to connect, reach out.
Awesome.
Excellent, awesome, guys. Well, Sarah, thanks. I look forward to the next in-person episode. My mouth is watering, and Jimmy, of course, thanks for rejoining the pod again, and
Thank you.
I'll see you guys all soon.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks for watching another episode of UnPack Pittsburgh podcast.